Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us. It's such a visceral ride, through a part of life in Mexico City that many people won't have seen. How familiar were you with this underground network of sort of pirate ambulances that exists in that city? And how much did you have to learn about it in order to play your character?
Bueno, realmente no sabía demasiado sobre ello, ¿no?
Right. Well, I wasn't very familiar with it. I think most of us don't really know about this very particular world. I think this is actually what the series brings to the audience. We learn about this unknown world that we live with, and we might even at one point or another require their services, though let's hope we don't. I think that's part of what the series allows everyone to see. I actually had to take a few first aid courses. I think we had about 4 or 5 weeks of ongoing training, actually looking at medical emergency situations, learning from the most essential, which is taking your pulse, even trying to figure out what is happening with a person, if they might be having a heart attack, for instance, etc. So we did have very particular training. The production team was very mindful of that, and we learned a lot. So I think actually by now, I hope I don't have to, but I think I could even help someone given the situation.
And of course, Ramon, as the patriarch of this family, has a lot of responsibility. He's bringing everyone together, helping the rest of his family through these life or death situations. How did you go about building that dynamic, with these younger actors, with Renata, with Diego, and how might have that kind of mirrored your relationship as actors as well, that you being more of a veteran on screen than them?
Bueno, yo tuve que, en el mejor de los sentidos, tuve que ponerme.
Well, in the best sense of the word, I actually had to bring myself to their level, to Renata and Diego's, and even the young boy. They're very spontaneous actors, really fresh. They're very natural in what they do. And I somehow had to bring myself to that level and reach a very specific level of concentration to actually be able to create that very important and very necessary bond in this family. As in every family, there's love, there's understanding, but there are also differences. And I think in the series, they come up now and then. For example, each of my children have a very different expectation of life, and they want different futures for themselves, even when I have the best intentions, as I think every parent does, but I might not have every resource to meet their needs. So I think it is a very fine, very well achieved portrayal of the life of a middle-class Mexican family where everyone wants the best for themselves and for their families.
And I guess through the lens of this very particular job that this family do, we see all sides of Mexican life in the city, the back streets, the parties. And it's in this very colorful as well as gritty and beautiful. But it's also shining a spotlight on issues like corruption, like this crumbling healthcare system. So why might that be important, both of those things, to show on screen?
La serie contó con unos guiones de.
The script writing for the series was actually fantastic. The story was already being told in the script that we received. So that script was very consistent. The dialogue was only there for us to breathe life into them, which is what we do as actors. Just bring that life and bring them that power of what becomes organic and just recreate them. Also, as you mentioned, that story does have a full mosaic of Mexican life. It shows a lot of that side of Mexican nightlife that many of us locals are not even familiar with. And it's so full of activity. It's amazing how such a large city as Mexico City is has amazing characters that are part of that life that you might even think is completely normal. And I think Midnight Family portrays that world and that universe. And me, as a patriarch of that family, whose livelihood is an ambulance, we take care of the ambulance itself as another member of the family. because it is a very significant part of our lives.
Muchas gracias, Joaquín, and congratulations on the show. Thanks a lot.